Hey, welcome back to Lynn and Dan's Kitchen. I'm Dan, this is my wife Lynn, and today we're going to make some sizzling chicken fajitas for you. This is one of our family favorites. We like to eat it a lot when we go out, but best of all is when we make it right here because it's exactly how we like it. And today you'll see how that's done. So stay tuned for that. Okay, looks like we're ready to get started.
Alright, start off our fajitas today. Come over here and get the skillet warm. If you don't have this at home, then you could use a frying pan, anything like that. But first of all, you need to spray it down with cooking spray. Really good, so it don't stick. Make sure it's in all cracks. Okay, and then you turn it on, and while this is heating up, we're going to go ahead and cut our vegetables for the fajitas. First of all, we'll cut the onion, then we're going to cut a green bell pepper, then we're going to cut a red bell pepper.
Okay, while she's cutting up the vegetables for the fajitas, I'm going to tell you a little story of how fajitas came to be. Now, it goes back to the early 1900s. In southern Texas and Arizona, some of the cowboys there, the Mexican cowboys, they were called vaqueros, would work as cowhands, and after the day was done and some of the cows would get butchered, part of their pay would be the leftover pieces, and they would get items such as the hide, the part of the entrails, stomach, pretty nasty stuff, and all the less choice cuts, and also the head. And they had developed certain dishes around these different components. In fact, they had barbecue cow head. It was called barbacoa de cabeza. Maybe we'll make that one next week, huh? So, and then the tripe, which was part of the stomach, was put into a kind of stew to make a tripe stew that was called menudo. Now, when I was growing up, menudo was a boy band, but apparently it's cow stomach soup. Who knew? And the last thing that they would make, they would take the skirt steaks, which were the less choice cuts, and grill that over barbecue or an open fire. It was the skirt, and it was called the fajita. So that's where the name originates from. Now, as far as popular culture, that didn't start until the 1990s, that you started to see the word fajita being used, and it actually stems from a fast food Mexican restaurant that used it as a promotion for their products, and it's pretty much caught on like wildfire, and you see fajitas used all over, including at home in American homes and at other Tex-Mex style restaurants. So that's where it comes from. Now you know. Alright, now it's time to cut up the peppers. So tell us, baby, exactly how big or how thick do you make those? Personally, although I like the flavor of the green peppers in my fajitas, I don't like the actual green pepper on my food. It gives me a little bit of heartburn, but like I said, it's got to be in there to have that right flavor.
So I'll cut it a little bigger so he can pick them out. Or you cut them smaller, however you like them.
Funny thing is, red peppers don't bother me. It's just the green ones. So usually we put some yellow ones in here too, but they weren't available. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. Maybe the store just didn't have them. But it looks real pretty with the yellow, the red, and the green peppers.
clean all the seeds out and take the stem off. Wash them off and just cut them up.
You know, I'm always good for a couple of jokes. I'll hit you with the first one. It's just a one-liner. Let's see how it goes over. But personally, I think fajitas get a bad rap these days. Nothing. Bad rap, get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Red ones.
I don't know if you can hear that in the camera, but everything's sizzling and the smell of those peppers and everything. They don't look like they're quite done yet, but I can smell them and it's starting to smell good already. Really need to get some smell-o-vision going so you guys can smell what's going on.
Okay, you want to clean this up while I start the chicken?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I get the hard job.
Alright, so I cut the chicken. You can use a knife, cut it into strips, or you could use a scissors, kitchen scissors. Whatever you prefer to cut with, whatever's faster for you. Or easier, should I say.
That's a nifty trick. Now that chicken looks awfully lean. Is that how it came?
Yes. Well, I trimmed off the fat. No.
Okay, so you did trim some of that off.
Yes, it had a lot of fat on it, so I trimmed it off. So.
Do I need to do anything over here?
Nope. Not yet. Gotta get the chicken on there. The vegetables take a little longer to cook, so get the chicken on there and cook it all in, get all the flavors in.
Adding the chicken on.
Oh, it smells really good. Okay, let's put this in.
Now as this chicken is on here, this is going to continue to cook down, and eventually once we spice it, it'll get mixed up together. We'll mix it up and the chicken will cook, the vegetable will cook, and everything will be done together.
Okay, now I got all my vegetables and all my chicken cut up and added into there. Now I'm going to add my fajita mix. It's the envelopes. This is 2 envelopes.
That's a spice packet that you can get at your local grocer, but we have made it from scratch in the past too, using just seasonings that she keeps around the house.
Okay, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of my favorite Cajun spice. That's just to spice it up, or if you want a little spicier than the pack. But you can use just the pack where it ain't spicy.
And then some garlic is going to be added in there too. This is minced garlic. Right?
Yep. Okay. I have to add a half a cup of water to it after you add your seasoning. Before you stir it up, just add the water. Then you take and you stir it up really good. Mix it in.
Now is that going to cook down? Because it seems like it's awful lot on top of that skillet.
Yeah, it's going to cook down. It's going to cook down. It cooks down a lot. But it's going to be delicious.
It's looking good, smelling good too.
feels like, if it looks like, or something, the chicken's like sticking together, just hit it with your spoon, stir it up, it'll fall, you know, get unstuck. And you just let it sit and let it cook.
Well, that's looking really good.
Okay, now we're gonna just let it cook.
Now, have you had this on high the whole time, or what temperature are we putting this on?
I had it on high, but I turned it down a little bit because the vegetables were cooking faster. And then I just turned it on high again because with the water and everything in it, it cools it down. So you gotta get it back to cooking.
Well, I can start to smell the spices in there now too.
Okay. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna come over here and cut up my vegetables for my toppings of my fajitas. First I'm gonna start off with is a half a head of lettuce. Wash that off. Gotta get it in there. And shake off the water. Then put it face down. Then you're going to just cut really thin to shred it. So you have shredded lettuce. Cut really, really thin. Okay, when I'm finished cutting this, I'm going to cut my tomato and my onions too to put in my bowls.
You know, the smell of these fajitas and cooking fajitas reminds me of the time that I went with Boudreaux down to that Mexican or Tex-Mex restaurant. And he ordered the fajitas too. And they brought this big old plate. They always bring them out already sizzling, you know, or still sizzling from the stove, and they tell you, you know, it's a hot plate, watch out. And then you make your own, much like we're going to do now. But we got close to the end. I looked over at Boudreaux. He started to look a little green in the face, and I said, man, is everything all right? And Boudreaux turned and looked at me and said, phew. Fajita another bite, I'm gonna be sick, Cher. Fajita another bite, I'm gonna be sick. I'm getting no laughs here. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield. Can't get no respect. Yeah, I would try to go and mix this up, but I'm worried that all the stuff's going to fall off the pan.
If you do it easily, you can.
Alright, I'll give it a shot. Oh, almost lost one. Yeah, I think we're going to quit while we're ahead. I'm going to let you take over. Tell you what I can do. I can cut that onion.
Go ahead. I won't cry. Okay. Almost finished too. I'm gonna go start a meat while you cut this onion for me.
You got it, babe. She's just trying to make me cry. That everybody should have a minimum wage job at some point in their lives so that they can learn some necessary skills. Oh man, I'm tearing up. That is no lie.
You tearing up?
Oh my God, I can't even keep my eyes open. I'm not kidding.
Keep cutting, you're not getting out of it.
Oh my God. Woo! Yeah, I was standing right next to you before when you were cutting onions. I didn't have any problem.
I wasn't crying when I was cutting mine.
Oh, look, I just messed it up.
Oh, cut your finger.
Oh. Oh well.
You're doing a good job.
Alright,
Now let's see you get it in this bowl.
You know that ain't gonna happen, but we'll try. You're gonna have more on the counter than in the bowl.
Take your time.
Oh my god, I just spilled it. I can't hardly see, I'm tearing up so bad. Alrighty, there we go.
Just put that in the sink. Okay. There's our toppings.
Whew. Tearing up. Crying. It's a sad story. Ooh, the fajitas are looking good. I think I might move that camera over here so you can get a better shot with the good camera. Maybe I'll just zoom in. Alright, here's a close-up of what's going on over there with the big camera. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. Some of that chicken's starting to look cooked, baby. Is it almost done?
Almost done.
It sure smells good.
It does.
Alright, since I'm over here working the camera, I guess I'm going to be the camera guy and you're going to have to do the rest all by yourself. How about that?
No, I don't think so. Fajitas are almost ready cooking and ready to eat. So now I'm going to warm up my tortillas in the microwave. I take it out the pack and I loosen it a little, loosen it up. Make sure it's loose. Put it in the middle of the plate. Take a paper towel, damp it, not too wet. You don't want it soaking. Just damp it and then kind of pat it, wring it out. And then you're just going to put it across the tortillas. And then put it in the microwave for 1 minute. Don't put it too much longer because then they start cooking, sticking together. And while that's cooking, we're going to move everything to the table. Okay? Turn this up, unplug it. Turn it off. Plug it. Okay.
Alright, it's still sizzling, heading to the table. And once we get it all set up, we'll show you what the final dish looks like. Those pictures made your mouth water, because it sure makes my mouth water. But we're about to actually go and eat our sizzling fajita dinner. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them below. and we'll try to answer them on YouTube, you know, if we can. Don't forget our sponsors. Sponsors are what make videos like this possible. Try to find that red subscribe button on YouTube and subscribe so you'll get notified next time we put out another great tasting dish. And give us a thumbs up too. All those things help us out. We appreciate you watching. And again, I'm Dan. It's my wife Lynn. And have a great day.
See y'all later.